Hey, all. So, all right, next steps. What's next? Well, the wing has to be pretty much complete before I assemble it to the airplane. What is that pretty much complete? Well, so I probably am not going to worry too much about the hard points, the armament and fuel tank hard points. I don't. I'm not sure. See, this is why I'm stopped again. I don't know if I need to have these on before I attach the wing to the airplane, because here's the thing. Once I get this attached to the fuselage, the next important step there will be to get the belly pan fitted. Complete the lower fuselage between third bulkhead and whatever this is, 7. 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7. So completing the lower fuselage will be important, as well as getting that wing fillet, that fairing that fairs the upper wing surface up into the side of the fuselage. And what that looks like is, if you're familiar at all with the Warbirds and with the P-47 in particular, wing fillet is kind of an important feature. It'll have to be there. So, and that's not, I mean, we've done those here on the channel before, and I'll be using filler and showing you how to use the birch ply for the rear portion of that, where it fits to the between the wing trailing edge and the fuselage. So anyways, those two things also need to be done. So I'm not sure that I need to completely finish the wing prior to getting it onto the airplane. There's still a ton of sanding that's going to be going on around the upper wing surface and around the lower wing surface, around the completion of the lower fuselage, or what I call the belly pan. It's actually the lower fuselage and essentially the housing for the ducting of the supercharger. So I'll get there. I'll spit it out. All right, so that's phase 2 or 3 from where I am. Phase 1 here now, with for the rest of the wing project. Phase 1 of the rest of the job is going to be fitting the fuselage doors, these doors here, and getting those to function and fit with the other 2 doors, making everything look more or less proper, is going to be another challenge. But essentially we're going to do the same thing here. So the line that I've created is the actual line, fitting line between the fuselage door and the lower landing gear door, and I show you that by closing this off. But again, the wheels still aren't attached, and neither are the wheel covers, and that stuff falling and flipping around. Right now I don't want that, so I just want to talk about it rather than kind of demonstrate. But you get the gist. This line is where the actual doors will be cut, more or less, and then I'll have to take care to fit, then when I go to hinge this over here, fit just where that hinge is, to ensure that when this is fully closed and it's located where it's supposed to be, that it fits against this door, against these lines. And then of course a doubler will be added on the undersurface, a doubler that will fit into the opening, whereas the door will lap it like it does here. It'll just slightly overlap, just as these doors do here and here. So again, lots of tight fitting and interesting engineering needs to be done. I need to figure out at what point, and this is the geometry of the hinging, where this is going to be hinged such that it will drop and fall into the opening properly, be at the correct distance and fitment location, and also be able to rotate fully down into this, essentially this position, which is pretty much a vertical. If you look at the photographs of actual P-47, the fuselage door, it doesn't sit like this, and it doesn't obviously do this. It pretty much sits vertical. The gravity mostly, I think, is what happens once it's released. It's pumped down hydraulically, then hydraulic pressure dissipates, and the door is left standing pretty much vertically here, hanging down from the aircraft vertically. So that's the position it needs to be able to reach when I have those that hinge. And all I'm thinking of doing is running, let's say, a length of piano wire across it here, and then cutting 2 small sections of this plastic tubing and just slicing it in half so that it's like a semicircle, and then using those 2 semicircles, one on each end, to pin the wire to the fuselage, to the underwing surface. And that should allow the pivoting of the door, provided I have it, mounted flush and all the other situations that I need to, criteria I need to meet to make sure the door can still rotate fully down into the vertical down position. So hopefully that all, you guys can figure out what I'm saying when I talk about that. That's probably the way this is going to be done. Very simple, like everything else. Very, I try to keep it simple and stupid. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes it's just too dumb, the things I try. But hey, we're doing the best we can with what we got to work with, which is me. So that's the next step, is to get these doors fabricated. I'm going to cut the birch ply here in a minute. Use the same thickness, which is I think it was 1/64, the thin material here, to make the doors, and then use the same material, the 3/32 sheet stock, to cut the doubler for the interior. And we'll just cut that doubler, make sure it fits flush and nice in there, and then we'll fit that to the back of the door, figure out exactly where that is, and that should give us our hinge, then our hinge location, tell us where the hinge needs to lie in order to work, or tell the truth. I know it's bad. It's not even dad humor. So anyway, that once we have these fitted with the doublers on them, lay them in here. That'll tell us where the hinge needs to be, and at what angle, and all that other stuff, and how it'll work. And then and that's what we'll do. We'll fix. Will we fix the doors on at that point? No. We'll get them fitted, marked, pencil mark everything in. Not fit the doors just yet. Pull the landing gear off. Make sure these are not yet affixed. Hit the wing with yet another, couple of layers of filler and sealer, and then fit the wing to the airplane. Build up the belly pan, the fuselage lower section under the wing. Fabricate and do all of the wing fillet work, the fairing and the fillet. Okay, and we'll get all that done. No, this isn't attached yet. This is just clipped in there. And then once the wing is attached, all that other work is done. Then we're going to go overall with what we have, the fuselage and wing, a couple more coats of sealer and filler and sanding, and really blend all of that together. And then it'll be time to work on the tail. And then the landing gear will probably be revisited at the very end. We'll get these fitted and square onto their posts. We'll get the fuselage doors installed and hinged. Make sure everything works. And then start on the detail work. And then start primering and painting and getting all that stuff done. Gonna be a lot of masking work with the paint. The paint's going to be multi-phase, multi-steps. But that's another discussion. So here we are, working on the landing gear now on the inner doors. Once we have those, I'll get these shaped. Now these need to be cupped out, scalloped out here on this edge, so that it fits flush to the lower side of the wing. As you can see, all the work I did to build up the underside of the wing, give it a little bit of an airfoil, has created gaps at the front and rear of the hard points. So they just need to be hollowed out in the center. They're rockered, if you will, underneath here, such that then fits from head to toe flush against the undersurface of the wing. Nice tight fit all the way down. And then these need also to be, straight in relation to the undersurface. They can't be obviously toed out or toed in. They have to be square. Right? So, and then I'll have to put panel lines on those, and panel lines will eventually have to be laid into the wings and into the fuselage and tail sections and everywhere. Panel lines like I've never done before. So, pushing the envelope, trying to expand my skill set, forcing and pressing myself to do things, outside of my comfort zone, and kind of expand my technique, or expand my abilities, I guess is what I'm looking for on this project. Trying to get as much out of it as I can, and that's for the channel, that's for viewers, that's for me, and what I'm attempting to do. We've got other projects down the road, some pretty big stuff, including we have a Corsair in the same scale, a 1/16 Corsair here from Guillow. Got a 1/32nd Guillow DC-3 airliner to do. A couple of plastic kits. I've got the F4F Wildcat in a 1/32nd scale. That's a trumpeter plastic kit, and P-47 in 1/32 scale. And the reason I did that, I needed some information. Some of the better plastic kits, they do a great job on their research and on their moldings, on their molds for the plastic parts, and you get some detail information from those that I can then turn and apply in certain cases to my project. And then at the end of it, when I'm ready to take the final pictures, I can build up the plastic kit in 1/32 scale and set it next to the 1/16 balsa kit, and you can kind of see what we're going for here, doing these balsa kits this way, as opposed to making them typical paper covered and all that stuff. So right, so that's part of the reason for having those kits. And then also the F4F is a reference for the F3F balsa kit that I have. I think that's a 1/24th scale, but it's similar. Well, it's an F3F, the Grumman flying barrel, and probably I think I'm going to do that up in a pre-war Navy scheme. But it can be done in a Navy variant, or the plans include the different shorter wingspan and so forth of the Gulf Hawk, which was the civilian air show, the orange plane. So I might do it up in that scheme. Anyway, it's all chatter at this point. Right, so the project currently, this is where we are. The next thing I'll be working on is getting these doors fabricated. Obviously we'll do a couple of videos and see how they fit together with everything prior to installation, and then moving on from that will be attaching the wing to the fuselage finally. Can almost see that next step happening, or at least it's on the horizon, somewhere on the calendar, if you know what I mean. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. Have a great day.